You are entering the Savage Angle Podcast. Savage, all the time, anytime. Here's your host.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Savage Angle. This is Mike. Yesterday we had our very first show on the Savage Angle. Talked about a lot of different things, a lot of different topics. Got into the whole technology scare of people apparently thinking that their phone is stalking them or talking behind their back, which is just complete nonsense. We talked about a little bit about the impeachment scam or hoax, as what President Trump has came to call it. But today we're going to talk about a lot of different things. We're going to talk about just what's just been really buzzing on the news. I see just came in from 21 hours ago here. President Trump is going to attend the Daytona 500 this weekend. Oh boy. I tell you what, this president is he's just ready to do everything. He really is. He's a president of a president. I mean, really. I mean, to attend a event this large, the Daytona 500. I mean, this event, folks, is not just like a 1 hour or 2 hour event. I mean, this event goes on the whole day. I mean, it's scheduled to start this Sunday at 2:30 p.m. in Daytona. The Daytona International Speedway president Chip Weil said in a statement that he's honored to have Trump attend the 2020 race. Daytona Beach International Airport officials said additional security measures will be in place at the airport due to the president's visit. They also said normal temporary flight restrictions will also be in place due to the race. Officials also said that regular air carrier service should not be impacted by either event. The Secret Service tweeted Wednesday that it is securing Daytona International Speedway by providing a 30-mile no-drone zone around the event. So basically, people with drones. Sorry, folks, you can't have a drone near the speedway within 30 miles during the event. So that's a little. So basically, if I'm looking at it, it provides a map here. The Secret Service basically provided us a map, so that way we can understand, that we can't have a 30-mile no drone zone. But enjoy the race, folks. So basically, you can't have it from around Palm Beach, Palm Coast, Daytona. It's basically a 30-mile circle. You can't have it. But that's good news. It's good news that, the president's going to attend this all-day race. I don't know if he's going to be there all day, but it's an historic race. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Daytona 500 or that type of car racing. I'm just not a big fan of it. I find it very boring. I mean, sure. I mean, I've been to one or two of them back in the day, but I'm just not a big fan of them. Not a big fan of them. I'm really a fan of horse racing. I love the horses. I used to, as a kid, my uncle would take me out to the horse racing up in Monmouth Park in New Jersey. I used to love the horses. I used to love to go there and see the different types of horses, the different types of owners, and who was the best horse, and to me that's a race. You know what I mean? That's a race. But But other than that, we got a lot to talk about on the show. I want to talk about one more thing, and then I'm going to have to take a break. But what else is there to talk about? I mean, there's so much news. So much news. It's hard to find positive news, though, today. It really is. It really is hard to find positive news. There's so much fake news out there. So much fake news. It's just, oh boy. What is this here? Let's talk about. There's a crazy story here. People want cheap weed. Aurora, Cannabis is paying the price. Oh boy. Let's see what this has to say. Market share for pot costing less than C9 a gram has grown from 2% to 17% since the summer. Oh wow. Since last year? Since last summer? Let me read that again. The market share for pot costing, folks, less than $9 a gram has grown from 2% to 17% since last summer. And the pace is expected to continue. Oh, wow. So the cannabis industry reported a hard turn in the Canadian cannabis market towards cheaper weed Thursday. So this is coming out of Canadians. Canadians want cheaper weed, which isn't great for companies that want to make expensive cannabis. Cannabis companies in Canada have long promised super premium products, such as going far as predicting demand for $100 a gram of the plant. Oh wow. Canadian consumers are heading that way, or heading other ways. However, Aurora Cannabis Incorporated, ACB, plus 6.12%, and then the CA, ACB, plus 6.63% outlined Thursday in an earnings report that revealed quarterly losses of more than $1 or C. God, I got to read this right. Losses more than C dollar billion, whatever the hell that is. I'm not in the cannabis industry, folks. I have no idea what all this digits and all this stuff is. Basically, the chief financial officer, Glenn Ibbott, said in a conference call that 17% of Canadian cannabis market was purchases of cheap weed, less than $6.79 a gram as of December. And it went up just 2% over the summer. And then meanwhile, a premium weed or a premium pot went from a market share in the mid 30% range to 17%. So that's oh wow. That's the pot industry in Canada is basically oh boy. It's the Canadians want cheaper weed, I guess. I don't know. I mean, kudos to them, but there's oh boy. Here's an interesting article, folks. I think you're going to like this one here. It's there's an iceberg twice the size of Washington, D.C., and it's breaking off Pine Island Glacier in Antarctica. Let's read about this here. There's an iceberg, like I said, folks, the size of Washington, D.C., and it's broken off Pine Island Glacier in Antarctica, scientists reported this week. This Pine Island, guys, is spawned an iceberg over 115 square miles. Okay? And, I mean, that's unprecedented. You know, that's crazy. You know, where, I mean, everybody's, you know, thinking, oh, global warming. You got everybody. You got the politics. You got the, you know, the, what I call them, the scientist of nut jobs that are trying to scare people away and say, oh, we're not having glaciers anymore. We're not having icebergs anymore. It's all melting, folks. Because the Earth is warming up. Oh boy, it's warming up. It's warming up. It's just I look at these type of articles, especially articles like this, what you're looking at both terrifying and beautiful in my eyes. Okay, terrifying by the people making false claims that the Earth is a lot warmer than it is thousands upon thousands of years ago, which I don't believe that a fact. I don't. I don't believe that the Earth is warmer now than it was thousands and thousands of years ago. The temperature has always been the same. Sure, yeah, maybe a little bit warmer, but that's not due to, the climate control isn't due to, what they're saying. It's just us humans that we're polluting the Earth a lot more than we have been. With emissions and everything. That has a big fact on it. But I don't want to get too much into this because some of this is nonsense and some of it can actually be passed for, positive of news on this article, but it's just nonsense. I'm not going to get into icebergs twice the size of Washington, D.C. because I don't think an iceberg has ever reached the size of little Rhode Island before. An iceberg could be the size of massive ships, but icebergs I don't think can be the size of an entire size of a state or the capital of this country, for instance. It's just crazy. It really is. It's crazy nonsense. Crazy nonsense. But we got a lot more to talk about on the show today. I want to get more into details with this, with the politics and just the crazy 20 election scenario coming up here in just 9 short months, right? So we got a lot more to talk about on the show. I'm gonna take a quick little break, guys.
The Savage Angle. Anchor podcast.
All right, guys, back to the show. I take a little break. It's good to take breaks. When you're in this business of podcasting, you just when there's a break available, you got to take it. I know these podcasters out there, the hosts out there, they'll go on for 45, 50 minutes, an hour, 2 hours without taking breaks, and kudos to them. I could do it, but then after a while I get so gaspy. People look at me like, "Oh boy, Mike, you all right? You all right? Yeah, go get some water or something. Go get some water." But got some interesting stories coming out of the New York Times. I read them sometimes. Prosecutors quit Roger Stone case after Justice Department intervenes on sentencing. Boy, more Roger Stone. I thought we were done with Roger Stone. He's back in the news again? I don't know. Trump had complained that a recommendation of 7 to 9 years in prison for his former advisor and longtime friend was a miscarriage of justice. Well, miscarriage, or however you want to see it, loose terms of what the president had said. But Roger Stone is back in the news again, guys. 4 prosecutors abruptly withdrew on Thursday from the case of President Trump's longtime friend Roger J. Stone. after a senior Justice Department official intervened to recommend more than lenient sentence for the crimes he committed in a bid to protect the president. Oh, boy. So Mr. Stone is back on news again, and he's back in the courtroom, and it doesn't look really good for him. The Justice Department recommended an unspecific term, of re-incarceration for Mr. Stone instead of the prosecutor's request of punishment of 7 to 9 years. The move to concede with Mr. Trump's declaration on Twitter earlier Thursday that the government was treating Mr. Stone too harshly. Well, I thank you, Mr. Soundman, a ping on that one. It's just the development, in my opinion, it immediately prompted questions. It did. Because here's the questions you're going to hear. Whether the Justice Department was bending to White House pressure, I don't know. I really don't know. Because here's the thing. They're basically 4 prosecutors withdrew on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, from the case of President Trump's longtime friend Roger Stone. The Justice Department recommended more lenient sentence for crimes he committed to protect the president. Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, Mr. Stone was to be sentenced for trying to sabotage a congressional investigation that had posed a threat to the president. Okay, I think this whole thing, yesterday I touched base on the whole impeachment scam, or the hoax, as what some of us had came to call it, because it was a hoax. It was ridiculous. Hey, you're gonna impeach a president for something he didn't do, and then this Roger Stone thing going back to nearly a 2-year investigation of a Russian interference of the 2016 election by Special Counsel Robert Mueller. I mean, come on, guys, come on. I just, it's just, this. You could talk about this. This will be on mainstream news for like the next 6 months, because that's all they talk about. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over. I started out the show and I talked about 3 different things. I touched base on what I talked about yesterday on my show. I'm talking about this subject. And then I talked about icebergs apparently the size of Washington, D.C. You go to mainstream news and they talk about the same thing. Matter of fact, you could turn on mainstream news, okay, and they'll talk about the same thing now all the way through the day. It's just, it's crazy stuff. It really is. It's just, but, I believe, and this is what I believe. I believe that Stone, okay, all right, he's trying to, all right, they're trying to get this guy for, I guess, crimes that he committed in bid to protect the president, okay? Okay. Should he have protected the president? Yes. That was his job, to protect the president. The crimes, I don't know. I just have no idea. I just, see that in a message on Twitter earlier Tuesday, I don't know. I just, there's another article part of it. I don't want to get into it. I really don't. This thing is just going to drag out my show for the whole rest of the show, and I don't want my listeners being bored about this. This is just boring stuff. Boring stuff. It just, do you want to hear it? You want to hear just stuff today that it's it's dragging. I don't want to hear it, to be honest with you. So there's just let's see, CNN. I don't want to get into CNN. They're fake news. I really don't. I don't get I don't get bothered with CNN. I don't. I just I try not to. It's just gossip and garbage and just really just stupid stuff. Let's see. I'm going through my things here because I want to deliver something today. This is this is the second episode of the Savage Angle. As you can see, my allergies are bothering me a little bit this morning, and it just let's see, what else is there to talk about? What's there to talk about? Because I'm going through everything here, guys. I really am. And this is not like me to be silent here. But I'm going through every article, and it's like, these articles I'm going through, it's like, I already know these articles. I already know that. The coronavirus spike. I mean, we know about the coronavirus spike. That's, I think that story is sort of dying out. Everybody's starting to get quarantined. Everybody's doing their job with the coronavirus and everything like that. I think it was the very same scare with the, with everything, measles and, I mean, shit, even the, the mosquitoes with the stuff they were carrying in them. I forgot what the hell that was called, but the mosquitoes, they bite you and then you get a virus from it. I mean, it's just it's a government scare. It really is. It's just I call them government scares. They're just or what I call it now, fake news scares. Okay, it's just another fake news scare. Yeah, there was a virus, a deadly virus called the coronavirus. But everybody going into a frenzy. They're getting all scared and, oh God, it's gonna come after us. We're gonna die. Oh boy. No, just common sense, folks. Just stay the hell away from people that are sick. I mean, right? I mean, Mike, I'm getting a little harsh. Yeah, I know. But it's just stay away from people that are sick, and stay away from people that are sick. You see somebody that just doesn't look their ordinary self, or, they look a little green underneath the gills, or what my mother used to say it back in the day. Stay away from those people. You don't need to be near those people. Just stay away from people that just don't look themselves. Oh boy. I tell you. But, what is there here? I mean, see all these? I'm going through them. I'm going through every single news article, and it's the same thing. Attorney General Barr, Pelosi, Bernie Sanders, Pelosi, Barr. I mean, it's all the same stuff. But Today I want to talk about a few things here, and I'm going to talk about a few things, because today, folks, is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. What are you doing for Valentine's Day? Well, what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to relax for Valentine's Day. I'm going to go grab myself a coffee in a little bit. Again, because I got my coffee right now in my hands, drinking it. Hazelnut with 2 or 3 sugars. Love it. Gets me going. Oh, it gets me going. But that's the important thing in the morning, folks, is to wake up, have a smile on your face, okay, and know what you want to do for the rest of the day. But today's Valentine's Day. I think everybody should be, Valentine's Day. You know what? You know what Valentine's Day reminds me of? Of another holiday. It reminds me of Thanksgiving. It's a little crazy to say that, but it does. It reminds me of Thanksgiving. To give thanks, to give appreciation to that special loved one or a family. I mean, give thanks to a family, right? You give thanks to a friend. Valentine's Day isn't just about, your special honey or your girlfriend or your wife or, your boyfriend or your husband or whatever the case may be. Valentine's Day should be a special day, just like Thanksgiving. You should give appreciation to someone or those that look up to you or appreciate you for that matter, right? That's what Valentine's Day, in my opinion, is about. It's about honoring those who are always there for you. It's not about going to, your nearest store and grabbing chocolates and flowers and, the stuffed bears and, whatever you guys do, It's honoring someone or those who look up to you and love you the most. That's what Valentine's Day is about. That's what it's about for me. I don't know what's going on here. This is my editors tell me I got to take a break. That's what I have to do. But we're going to talk more about this about Valentine's Day because I just remembered it was February 14th. So but we're going to take a quick little break and we'll be right back, folks. Okay. Hey guys, back to the show. We're talking about some crazy stuff today on the show. A little bit of everything. I was touched based on for those who's just joining in, welcome. Where's my manners? Welcome to the show. This show is a little bit of an unordinary type of podcast. I talk about a lot of different things on this podcast. I don't talk about the same old gossip of, the same thing. Because who the hell wants to listen to that for 20, 30, 40 minutes, right? But today we're talking about, excuse me, tickle in my throat. Today we're talking about a lot of different things. We're talking about we're talking about some politics, getting into some Trump news. I just mentioned the whole Roger Stone thing. I'm not going to get into that because it's just, I think that story is... It's not picking up anywhere. We all know what happened to Roger Stone. It sucks, but, life has to go on, right? It has to go on. We have to move on. We have to move on with our lives, We have to get up every morning, put our shirt, put our pants on, put our shoes on and start the day, and, you got to start that day, and, I'm starting my day. Got my coffee in my hand. It's a nice clear blue sky outside today here in the Atlanta area. It's a nice day. It's a nice day. But today we're going to talk about a little bit more about this deadly coronavirus. It really is. It's turning out to be a bad one, folks. It really is. But I mentioned right before I took my break. This also has to be a common sense type of statement, When you see sick, deadly people, you just stay the hell away from them, But I don't think this is going to be too much of a worldwide type of scare. Mainly coming out of China, this type of virus, and it has affected people in the United States here. I've seen on the news and not too far from me, actually, I see people wearing masks. And, when you start seeing people like that, you kind of like, got to go the other direction, right? You got to go the other direction. And, but, don't get me wrong. You see people wearing masks, some of them might have, the flu. They just don't want to be near you. Hey,
kudos to you. Thank you for concerning about my health, for wearing the mask for one. Two, the coronavirus. This is my personal opinion. Now, I might get a little dark on this subject here, but this is my personal opinion here with this coronavirus. I'm sorry to say, these people, they did it to themselves. First of all, when you go to China or you go to any Asian continent out there, okay, these people are known to eat a type of diet, have a type of diet that is not normal or to the average American of understanding. These people eat a lot of different things that are filled with bacteria, just filled with parasites in these type of foods. Now, who's to say that some of these parasites, and I'm not saying this could be the cause of it, because we don't know where this coronavirus started out from. We have, we have thoughts, but we don't have basically an analysis of where it came from. It could come from the type of diet that they have, the bacteria, the parasites in these foods, in this type of fish, in this type of, these type of different types of other foods that they're eating. It could be coming from the environment, and, good old Mother Nature, could have, supplied this virus, It could have came from a lot of different things. But I'm telling you right now that this virus right now is yes, it is deadly. Yes, it's very deadly. It's killing people left and right. I'm looking at an article right now here, and it shows that if this virus is not contained within a certain period of time, it could wipe out millions upon millions in the Chinese or Asian continents. There are millions of people just dying from this virus, and it's now spreading to America. It's just, folks, common sense. If you see someone sick, or if you see somebody that just doesn't look, at their normal state of mind, move the hell away from them. Just move away from them. It's just, it's not worth, putting your family at risk, even yourself at risk. It's a bad one, folks. It really is. It's one of those diseases that's starting out, the whole 2020 year, making headlines everywhere. It really is. It's a bad one. I said it. I'll say it again. But on to other things. We're gonna talk about some other things here, and then we got to wrap it up. I talked about we talked about the coronavirus just now. We talked about how Canadians want cheaper weed. I guess it's good, Oh boy, what is this here? Talked about the politics here a little bit. We talked about this iceberg apparently the size of Washington, D.C. I think that's a crazy story. It really is crazy stuff. But I'm going to finish off here with just saying, I want to get into a little personal stuff with me. And I rarely don't do it on this show here. I know this is the second episode of the Savage Angle, but it boggles me sometimes where I want to talk a little bit about, my personal aspects of what I see, it bothers me sometimes is where, and I don't know if this has bothered any of you, my listeners, but, you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to give your 110%, right? 110% of what you try to do. You know, you try to be successful. You try to be, you try to be that person to give it all. You know, give it your all in life. But what bothers me is I call them. I mentioned this yesterday on my show. The negative vibers. You know, the negative Nancy's, so to speak, right? Or the, yeah, I mean, you can put a name on it for everything, you know. But you get up, you have your coffee, you start your day. You know, maybe you turn the TV on, you watch the news, the weather, whatever. You know, then you go out, you get in your car, you go on the bus, go on the train, whatever. And you see these people outside, and they just stare at you for no reason. I've been noticing that for a while now. Maybe I'm doing something that's affecting them. Or, maybe they just don't like their life. Folks, you don't have to be that negative Nancy or that negative viber. There's no reason for it. And I want to close out the show because it was something I wanted to talk about yesterday's show that I'm just thinking about now that I just didn't have a chance of talking about it. You don't have to be that person that's always miserable in life. You don't have to have hatred in your eyes. You don't have to have this in your eyes. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to live life like that, folks. You don't. Life can be a meaningless, depressing life if you choose to have a life like that. But you can also have a beautiful life and give it all, and like I said, give it your 110% and get out there in the world and just do things, whether they're affecting somebody's life or whether you're affecting the world in some type of way. I mean, that's how I do my life every day. I run my life every day like that. I might have not gone to the greatest schools in the world or the greatest schools, from where I came from. But, I mean, it doesn't change the fact on who I am as a person. And I want you, my listeners, to have that expressions, to have those thoughts in your head. Say, Mike is right. I've learned a lot today. But with that being said, folks, I'm going to close out the show. Today is Valentine's Day. I hope wherever you are in your life, you look at today as a happy day instead of a depressing day, because it is Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day is in my opinion supposed to be shared with your loved ones. It doesn't have to be shared with your wife or your girlfriend or your husband or your boyfriend or any of them. It should be shared with your loved ones, a family member, a friend that you haven't seen in 20, 30 years. Reach out and say, hey, how you doing? Hey, man, how you doing? Happy Valentine's Day. I hope your day is filled with love and happiness. That's Valentine's Day. That's the holiday I look at it. I don't look at it as a national candy day, as many people would look at it as. I look at Valentine's Day as a day of giving thanks to those who appreciate you, who love you, who care about you, who look up to you. You give that back to those people that look up to you in all those different ways. That's Valentine's Day. Those are the holidays that we should cherish. You cherish those days and you remember those days. And stop being so hateful on people and things in life, because that's not a life you want to live. It's certainly not a life I live. I don't go through life with misery and upsetness. I don't. Yeah, I get upset sometimes, but I don't dwell on it. I was never a dweller. I don't dwell on things. But anyway, I want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day and a happy Friday to those whose today is their last day, and then they have to enjoy the weekend. But I hope you, not me, I'll be working this weekend. I never have a day off. My working abilities don't stop. I just keep on working because I'm addicted to money. I love money. I love making money. Sometimes I spend it wrong. I'll admit that. But I love making money. I love work. I really do. But with that being said, thank you for joining in today on the Savage Angle podcast. My name is Mike, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.